I'm Terry David Mulligan. This is the Mulligan Stew podcast number 301. Onwards to 500, friends, hopefully. We have a friend coming back for another visit. In 2021, I got to know and meet Adrian Sutherland, who's better known on the internet as Attaboy Adrian. The Attaboy comes from the town he's in James Bay, Attawapiskat, and he's a James Bay Cree. And solid frozen for months of the year. You have to be a warrior to survive up there, even if you're a dog. The one thing I learned about Adrian right off the top was that he was a traditional knowledge keeper of stories about James Bay Cree. Some stories that would fade unless someone retold them, kept them written, recorded, spoken. In one case, for example, we're going to play a track called The Storm. It's a true story. It's the last track that we play. And it's an amazing story. Amazing that anyone survived. And the cool thing is, in 2021, Adrian was in a shipping container at his house, but he had fixed it up inside to make it into a recording studio, put some heaters in, of course, and just lucked out. He ended up being produced by Colin Linden in Nashville via the internet. Colin on one end and Adrian on the other, which is a good deal because, Colin Linden, besides producing himself and working with Blackie and the Rodeo Kings, he also has produced 10 or 12 Bruce Cockburn albums. He knows what he's doing. And between the two of them, an album came out called When the Magic Hits. I loved it right away. I played it a lot. Now comes the follow-up. It's called Precious Diamonds. And the best thing about it, I think, is that now that there's no COVID restrictions, Adrian was able to go to Nashville and visit with Colin Linden in his studio in his backyard. It's really good. And there's two tracks on the album in his James Bay Cree, which is a start of a whole nother direction for him. The tracks from the album we're going to play for you are Diamonds, You Are Left Behind, Precious, Kayash, and The Storm. He doesn't know it yet, but I have Colin Linden in the Zoom waiting room ready to pounce at any moment. Here we go. Here's a conversation with Adrian Sutherland about his new album called Precious Diamonds. Attaboy Adrian.
Sorry, how are you?
Like we knew what we were doing.
Yeah, I just got off the other interview, kind of spilled into.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. Are you stacking the interviewers up like cordwood?
Yeah.
And where have I found you? What part of the world are you in?
I'm in Ottawa today.
Yeah. Are you getting ready for a show on Friday?
That's right, yeah. Show tomorrow, yeah. It's going to be at the National Arts Center.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
No, really. Between that and the Billboard downtown Toronto?
Oh, yeah, that was really...
I love that.
Really awesome of Amazon Music to do that and support me in a huge way.
Well. Okay. It was, I went back and looked. It was September 2021 when we last talked about that first solo album of yours and working with my friend Colin Linden.
Yeah.
Of course, you were in James Bay in your studio, and he was in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever think that you'd end up in Nashville in his studio?
To be honest, I've never saw myself going down to Nashville to do any recording. It just seemed to me like a far-fetched idea.
Really?
Yeah.
And then it happened.
It happened. Yeah, it happened, and it was an amazing experience for me.
Well, first of all, Nashville is where the songwriters go. It's like a songwriter's nation, right?
Exactly.
You're surrounded by people doing exactly the same thing that you're doing.
Yeah, that's right. It was a great experience. I had amazing time down there.
What you thought it was going to be like and what it was like.
I wasn't sure what to expect. I was a little bit nervous going down there. I didn't know what to expect at all. And then being first time, being so far away from home and being in the US, I've never gone down there. So there were I was a little nervous, and I didn't know what to expect. And you know, um I'm always worried about what others will think of me, I guess sometimes in the music industry. And uh maybe it's just because I'm a little bit modest, I guess, at times. And um I always think everyone's better than me, and I'm just like this, like, this guy from the north, uh that knows some music, knows a little bit about songwriting. And maybe that has a lot to do with feeling smaller than everyone at times. So I was a bit nervous.
How can a modest guy write a song called "My Rebel Spirit"? How does that work?
I don't know. I think I was kind of feeling angry at the time. A little bit, feeling a little bit annoyed or irritated, and I wanted to be a bit more outspoken.
Did you get a sense of how much I liked your music that first interview?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
Yeah.
it just struck me. It struck me, struck me, struck me. We had nothing in common. We had everything in common. It was amazing, and I knew it was going to play well. I knew it. Because you had the melodies, you had the song structure, you had
Mhm.
the thought process. And so I couldn't wait for Precious Diamonds. Just couldn't wait. And so I started to play it. The 5 year rollout of your singles, um,
Yeah.
driving me crazy. I needed the whole thing. I needed the whole package. Did the songs change much in the studio down there?
Not really. That was the good thing about working with Colin is he's great at keeping your ideas intact
Yeah.
and just bringing them to life. And sometimes he's good at maybe doing less, less with the music. Because I think as a songwriter or as artist, you sometimes get caught up in trying to do too much or making the song, too busy, or have too much to say, that gets too wordy or whatever. So he's good at, really, if anything, he's honoring the artist and the song, and not trying to, change anything.
Well, as you know, some producers will impose themselves on the music and the artist. Uh,
Absolutely, yeah. That's I've had that experience. I think Colin would be like maybe the fourth producer I've worked with in my short career.
Diamonds comes from some storytelling, perhaps. What are diamonds in your language?
Yeah, just a play on belief, that made from the sun, that we come from another place. As humans, we were brought down to this earth. It's a bit of a playing on the idea of belief systems that and First Nations people have about coming from another place, coming from a place up above. And that's where that song was inspired by, that whole idea, of coming from, and where we're each sort of unique in our own little way. We have our own unique gifts, and we're, that's where that whole idea of diamonds came from. It's like we're all our own gem in our own way.
Here today and you're gone tomorrow. Wash you down with a glass of sorrow. Why? Why? Levitate while you're busy dying. Hope to God that you got in lying now. Now. Hey, everybody chill for a minute now. Hey, everybody stop and look around. We're like diamonds, 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 made from the sun. We're like diamonds, 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 made from the sun. Everyone. Everybody chill for a minute now. Hey, everybody stop and look around. We're like diamonds, 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 made from the sun. We're like diamonds, 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 made from the sun. I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking. Here today and you're gone tomorrow. Wash it down with a glass of sorrow. Why? Why? We're like diamonds, 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 made from the sun. We're like diamonds, 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 made from the sun. We're like diamonds, 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 made from the sun. Hey, everybody chill for a minute now. Hey, everybody stop and look around.
Congratulations on the album.
Thank you. Yeah, it's exciting.
It's Dan. Rightly so. Rightly so. I know for a fact that you are acknowledged as a traditional knowledge keeper, and that would be storytelling and stories in traditional sense. But songwriting, music, getting the same message out like that's fantastic. You Are Left Behind. It's about mental health, I know that, but is it about conditions with First Nations and Cree?
Yeah, I think I tried to draw on all those different things. People have been struggling up there for a long time with a lot of different things, not having adequate health services, adequate housing. There's been food scarcity. There's been opiates. There's so many challenges that exist up there. And a lot of times we get forgotten. We get, people just don't have the time a day to really concern themselves with these issues. And so that really was where that song came from. Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic. Oh, by the way, I have a bit of a surprise guest for you.
Oh,
I have Colin Linden in his studio.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Well,
Good. I didn't expect to be on the call with you today, Colin. I've been following along with all your stuff that you got going on. So just really, really happy to see you today.
Yeah, back at you. I wish I was up there for the launch of the record, but I hope you could hear Janice and me cheering you on because we were from a distance.
Oh, absolutely.
Colin, welcome. Thank you for sneaking in here.
Great to see you, Terry.
Thank you, buddy. Did you change anything because he had come from his studio to yours, because he had come from James Bay to Nashville? How did you adjust?
Well, interestingly enough, for me at least, and and I think for you too, Adrian, by the time we actually got in a room to work together, we had already made an album together, even though we were at such great distance. There was, I think, a pretty immediate feeling of comfort. I certainly felt that in us working together. And we kind of I felt like we had the wind at our back a little bit because we had actually had to develop the communication of working together, like we are now, through a machine from a long distance. And I think that kind of gave us it actually gave us a really good head start on working for this. So I didn't have to change anything. And Adrian came in with, I mean, you came in with really, really good songs, and you were, as they might say, loaded for bear, or, really ready to do it.
Good on you. Now, your ears would be fully and completely up listening to these songs come at you. You described Adrian as free in spirit, and the songs were. How does that word come about?
Well, I felt like there was something driving the songwriting, especially, but also in the performances, that wasn't. It wasn't overly self-conscious. It was conscious in some ways. I think more about what you were writing about, Adrian. You were very, very focused on those things. And there's a personal element to them, but it was personal almost in context of a vision of the world that was bigger and more pure. And I think in that way, your performances were really, you didn't hold back anything at all. And I really think that comes through. I mean, I felt like even on the last record, you were in your studio in the far north, and I was in Nashville, and you still, gave it everything. But us actually being in the room together, I think it added something to it. And it was very free. It was unself-conscious, and it was purposeful, but very little of it was focused on, hey, look at me. It was very ego-free. And I think that made for really great music. So
it's fantastic. Thank you for sneaking in like that, buddy. You don't mind if we just sit here and talk about you, do you, Adrian? Would you just,
Terry and I have a history of just sitting and talking and letting the time go by. So I'll check out anytime you say, hey, thanks for coming.
Hey, thanks for coming. I'll be
Really
back.
great.
Well, you and I have another conversation to happen, but thank you.
You call me anytime.
Thank you,
You know
buddy.
where I'm at. And you too, Adrian.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that the record's out, and I just feel like I can't wait for people to hear it, because I think it's such a beautiful record. So you guys have a great rest of
Thanks,
conversation.
buddy. Just send your invoice to me. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. See you guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Passed you by on the street, caught a glimpse you were talking alone. Tears fell down your face, your eyes filled with rage. All at once I heard your screams. You were walking to no home. The years have slowed your pace. Your cries fill the space. Life can be hard when you have nobody to mend your broken heart. I know you feel so empty, lost in your mind. No one there for you. They turn a blind eye. You are left behind.
How about that? There you go.
That was fun. Yeah, thanks for that wonderful surprise. I haven't talked to Colin like I've been back and forth with him on the album, obviously, but we haven't talked since I left Nashville back in early June last June. So
Okay. Adrian, he talks about your focus. You are focused. You are a very focused individual. What collectively did you want to say with the second album? It's a chance for you to actually open your heart and speak to us. What did you want to say?
well, like a lot of the stuff in music, I approach music, sometimes a heavy heart,
Yeah.
and music is emotional at times. I always try to balance that, emotional heavy stuff with also lighter stuff like love, family, and culture. Those types of things are important to me as well. And I think, I when you approach things that way or music that way, I think you keep people coming back to your music and wanting to, listen to your music more. I've always tried to approach my music that way.
What was the first song you did?
Oh,
Sometimes that leads the way.
well, Diamonds has been around for a little while, so that song had been kicking around.
While you're at Diamonds, it's hooked up to Precious. Precious Diamonds is the name of the album. Are they two separate songs or two separate thoughts, or were they disconnected and put together?
They were disconnected, and then they were put together because Colin actually had come up with the idea for the album title, and Precious Diamonds was such a catchy title for an album, and those two things have very very significant meaning.
When you got Precious into the studio, did it have that Southern soul sound to it?
Yeah, we consciously had made the riff was there, everything was there that you hear, except obviously Colin added a bit more of that Southern sound to it.
He's got it, yes.
Building song, yeah. But the riff was there when we came into the studio, and I think, I mean, they were all really fun to work on, but I think this one was probably a song that we had most fun with, bringing to life.
Oh, now say now, where you gonna run to now? There ain't no hiding in here. Oh, now say now, where you gonna run to now? This land is precious. Home your heart for the man in the village. Hey, 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 hey. Conflict come, he don't rest on the privilege. Hey, 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 hey. Smuggle his soul, but he's married to the land now. Hey, 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 hey. If you wanna put him down, you gotta put him in the ground, y'all. Hey, 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 hey. Whoa, now sit up, where you gonna run to now? There ain't no hiding in here. Whoa, now sit up, where you gonna run to now? This land is precious. Hey, hey, y'all. 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 Bless these bones, they're fighting for freedom. Hey, 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 hey. Bless these spirits, saving our kingdom. Hey, 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 hey. Keep me from the gallows, safe passage from my mother. Hey, 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 hey. When the war is won, bury me next to my father. Hey, 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 hey. Whoa, now sing up, where you gonna run to now? There ain't no hiding in here. Whoa, now sing up, where you gonna run to now? This land is precious. Hey, hey, y'all. 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 Now, people. Come on now, people. Come on now, people. Come on. Now, sing up, where you gonna run to now? There ain't no hiding in here. Oh, now,
Just like the blues and the Southern soul, in many respects, it comes from a place of oppression, racism. Were you speaking to that?
Yeah, I think we're singing to our oppressors. Woe now sinner. That's how we are describing our oppressor. Um, where are you gonna run to now? There ain't no hiding in here.
Mm.
It, it's I guess it's playing on that idea that someday, things are going to change. Things will not always be this way.
In
And
whose
that,
lifetime? In whose lifetime? Mine? Yours?
not ours. I don't see that happening in our lifetime. I think maybe my kids and my
Yeah, yeah.
grandkids, for sure.
Mm.
Our grandkids.
That's another song. Shouldn't you be hunting right now?
I should be hunting very soon or getting ready for hunting. I'm going to be behind again this year on all of that. So I'm going to be working pretty hard to get ready once I get home.
Because it's not just hunting; it's survival. It's food. It's getting you through the winter is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think things have changed a lot in the last little while in terms of having, food when it comes to food scarcity and access to food in the north. But we still, we won't always have access to, chicken or
Yeah.
beef, or sometimes we run out because of logistics or shipping, to the north is very challenging. So we rely heavily on hunting and
But you always
so
have, right?
always
Always,
have,
always have.
more so when I was growing up and more so when I was a young man. It was you had to hunt if you wanted to eat. There was no choice in the matter.
Does Cree want to rhyme? Is it easy to rhyme?
Cream, yeah, yeah. It is actually easy to rhyme. Um, um, and you could rhyme a lot easier, I think, in Cree and
Huh.
have I guess it's a little bit less constraining, I feel than the English, writing in English.
Yeah,
I feel a little bit more free to kind of,
there you go.
uh, yeah,
There's that word again. The other Cree language is before chaos. It's about looking back. In other words, before.
yeah. It just when I go out, onto my ancestral lands, and I see where my grandfather walked, where he, you know, had cut wood, or where he trapped,
Uh,
or where he hunted. And so I see it, like, all sorts of signs everywhere when I'm out on the ancestral land. So that's really what that song is about, is singing about those people that came before us. And you could almost sense and feel them, when you're out there.
uh,
And you sort of,
Did they leave markings? Did they?
yeah, oh yeah, they left markings like everywhere, like
Wow.
everywhere you go. You could see where they were, where they had their camps, where they would have set their nets, all these different places.
Mm.
So that's singing about that those people, and the people that came before us, and how, they're just, you kind of, they left their mark, and you see it everywhere you go out there.
They left, especially if you're open to it. If you're watching for them, they're
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Um, yeah, it's just like, it just amazes me because where I come from, it's such a huge land base. But you could think, I'm gonna go to where no human's been before, and go for miles and miles and miles, and then you just come across all these axe markings and different things, and like, oh well, someone's been here before me. So there's like no rock ever like unturned up there. It's like you've been everywhere on that, piece of land.
I do like the idea of traditional knowledge keeper and someone passing on the stories. I think it's so important. But to do it in song, as I said at the start of this, before we were interrupted by the producer in Nashville, to do it in song, it means it will survive. The stories will survive. They can. Younger people will listen to music as opposed to maybe listening to storytelling. It's an incredible privilege to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think it's a very awesome way of sharing and trying to teach and trying to bring people along and learning together. And I'm really, I guess, proud that I'm able to do that, and be able to leave something so important for others to enjoy.
you and I have never met, but we have here in the sort of media world. But I believe, and I have always been surrounded by nations, Kamloops here on Vancouver Island, Malahat. I'm in the Malahat Nation. They need leadership. You know that. They need leadership. People who stand up, take the responsibility on, and lead by example. You're it. I kind of wonder, though, looking at the many of the Cree nations, are you concerned about their future?
I could only speak for where I come from, and I'm very concerned, for the future of our nation where we live. I think I definitely think we need to do a better job when it comes to leading. We need to have better governance. One of the number one issues is poor governance, and that leads to all sorts of other problems.
Yeah.
And I think we need to really, really do a better job when it comes to governing our nations. And if you look at places that have very, very strong governance, you can tell right away how well off they are, and immediately what kind of governance they have in place, and it's usually very strong, a very, very strong governance structure that they have had in place for a while. And if you look at places that are struggling, like where I come from, right away that it's because of the poor governance.
You're in a special place on Friday. You're in Ottawa.
Yes.
You're singing to, in some cases, the decision makers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you have thought about saying anything as a statement from the stage while you have their attention?
I thought a little bit about what I might want to say on the flight in, and right now it's difficult for me. I find it really hard to talk. It's been such an emotional time for me. There's been a lot that's happened, and I I don't know if it's just because of where I am now in my life too. I get really emotional about stuff, and it's very hard to talk about certain things. But I will do my best to leave people with a message, especially our leaders and decision makers. Um, that we're here. We're strong, we're resilient. You need to pay attention to us, and you need to work with us, and to make a better uh to make things better, for us people up in the north, especially, because too often we're forgotten.
What's the summer look like? I mean, you would love to festival, I'm sure, like crazy. You'd love to take it into the fall. You've got the music now. You have our attention. What do you think the year might end up looking like?
I think it's going to be a good year. I'm expecting this year to be really good. We have such a great album out. There's opportunities outside of music that have been, coming my way. A lot of those opportunities are
Hmm.
as a result of the music too, right? So the music has really opened a lot of doors for me too, outside of music, which is kind of weird, but it's usually speaking or cultural, kind of stuff, or youth work, that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm expecting to have a good year, and I know we have some shows that are starting to shape up, some festivals that are lined up. Um, we'll see. It's been a slow couple years for me, and I currently don't have an agent right now. So if you know any good agents, put out a good word for me.
I will, I will include that front and center. Positively. That's fantastic. If I can help in any way, let me know. A couple of things. Have you? I don't have the list in front of me. I'm sorry, but this weekend, as we're talking, is Juno weekend in Halifax. Did you take a look at the list of Indigenous nominees? Did you agree with everybody that's on that list?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think everybody, has um, William is up for a nomination. William Prince, Ace is up for um, um, a nomination,
Yep,
a
two.
couple, 2 or 3 nominations. So, well deserving. Absolutely, I agree with all of that, and they deserve all the attention, and they certainly have have the music and the background for all that to back it all. So
Okay. You might want to agree that your timing is really good on this album because right now you have our attention. You, as a nation, have our attention. There's now songs, there's channels dedicated to Indigenous music. There's videos, there's festivals, everybody has their ears open. You have us listening. Your timing is perfect on this album.
yeah, I think so too. I think it's very timely, and I couldn't have picked a better time to do this. And the music is to me is I love it. I mean, I love this album, and I get so emotional when I listen to the album, but I also in a good way. Sometimes it's a little bit heavy, but it's also there's a lot of light stuff, on the album as well.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, we have a song called "Feeling of Love," and sometimes we just gotta let love shine, and let the light into our hearts.
I'll trade you favorite tracks on the album. Hold on to yours for a second. Mine is, well, I like them all. I particularly am fascinated by The Storm, the story behind The Storm. Whether it's true or not, whether you're just making it up as you go, it's a strong song.
Yeah, I think, well, for that song, it's based on true events. It's about it would have taken place almost 300 years ago, and it's a story I've heard several times since I was a boy, about a man who I know the family too very well, and it's a long story, but to make it short, basically they were facing famine that year, and his family, the kids, there were women out in the barren land in the tundra, and he went to go for help. He was the only one who had enough energy to actually go for help, and he took his dogs to go get help, and then as they were planning to head back with the help that he went to go gather, this big storm came in, and they asked him to just hold off. We'll just wait it out. Don't go out into the storm. But he's like, no, they won't make it another day. So he went back and out into the storms, and he never made it back to his family. So it's such a sad story. But those are stories that
Yeah.
are important, important to tell. And people were facing famine, feasting. My grandparents faced famine, many times. And I've been on the land and not had any food, for a long time. And I've felt what it feels like to be hungry, not have any food in your belly for days. It's such a difficult thing to go through. And we're talking about Canada,
Yeah.
And so it's important for me to tell those stories, and that story is really about that. There was one survivor, a young girl, and the dogs had I think 3 dogs that kept her alive, that kept her warm. They were buried in the snow when they found her, and the dogs had kept her warm because they had laid on top of her and kept her from freezing. She lived to be almost 90. This woman, she's deceased now, but I knew her very well for a long time.
So it's her story.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for this. Thank you for your music. Thank you for just being you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your thoughts. Thank you for your goodness. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to seeing how this all rolls out, and I wish you the best. I hope to cross paths with you at some point.
Thank you so much for having me. It's good chatting with you again.
They told him, don't leave in the storm, just wait for better days to come. But old Jaban, he couldn't wait. Those poor children weighed heavy on his mind. Oh no, the storm is getting worse. So he rounded up dogs. No one even knew that he rode out into the strongest winds all over the bogs. Not a day to waste he flew. What else was he to do? But he lost his way so quickly as he yelled, "Dogs, please don't quit me." He fought his way to stay warm. Not a soul even knew he was gone. At home, he should have stayed. I'm afraid there was no more time. Oh no, they'll fear the worst. Oh no, they all fear the worst. So they ride